Let's understand the microenvironmental factors one by one. In this slide, I have focused on three important factors: the company, suppliers, and competitors. So, first, the company itself is made out of various departments like R&D, marketing, finance, HR, operations. They are supposed to collaborate and communicate efficiently for best customer value creation. Most often, these departments act as internal customers and communicate their requirements. For instance, it is the upper management that sets missions, objectives, and strategies associated with a project and product. Then they communicate the same to various departments involved. Let's say they communicate it to purchasing so that it can procure raw materials. Then procuring gives the raw materials to R&D, who is able to innovate and come up with a prototype for the product. Now the product prototype is ready. It has to be given to the manufacturing so that they are able to manufacture it at least pilot scale for carrying out various tests on it, consumer tests, including consumer tests. So each of these departments, they are internal customers giving each other timeline and the commitment that is required for best customer value creation. For instance, it is mandatory to label irradiated food. Your company wants to produce irradiated food and then supply it on a global scale. For this, we have to pitch in the legal team to understand what are the labeling requirements and the food regulations in countries of interest where you want to release your irradiated food. And if you do not meet with such requirements, what are the consequences that you will have to face? Second is suppliers. Suppliers, they are essentially the resource provider. They give you the raw materials required to produce your goods. Marketing managers, along with purchasing team, should watch the cost of raw material and its availability. Okay, now this is important because increased raw material cost means there is increased product price and it could potentially discourage price sensitive consumers from buying your product. These days, suppliers are considered as partners so that they are not a threat of being a producer. And there should not be clashes between the supplier and the company. If there is a clash, then the production of the whole product can be stopped. For instance, you have a farmer who is producing tomatoes. He is responsible for providing the raw material, that is tomatoes, to a soup company. Now, if there is a clash between the company and the farmer, let's say the farmer is not being given a fair price for his tomatoes, then he's not going to supply tomatoes. As a result, there is no production, meaning the company cannot launch its soup in time. So it's very essential to consider farmer as a partner rather than a supplier. Third one is competitors. Competitors is an important aspect when we talk about microenvironment. Now, for a company to perform and give out its best, it needs to set a benchmark for its product. This is done by comparing it with that of competitors. Marketers should try to understand how a competitor's product occupies in the minds of consumers and then take necessary steps to make your brand more impressionable than theirs. So, this is essentially done by strategic designing of a product and positioning these products in the minds of target consumer. One of the earliest commercials that I can remember in this regard is that of Pepsi. So, in the 1980s, Coke had captured a great market share in the US. So, that time, Pepsi came up with this ad called as Pepsi Challenge, in which they were asking consumers to do blind tasting of two products. In this case, it is the Coke and the Pepsi. When they did that, majority of them liked the taste of Pepsi compared to that of Coke. Now, the message of this ad was take the Pepsi challenge and then let your taste decide which one is better for you rather than you deciding based on your awareness of a particular brand. Second example that I would like to give you is from automobile industry. Luxury car brand manufacturer Lexus, they came up with an ad wherein they were talking about German car manufacturers. Luxury car is synonymous with Germany, right? Because you have BMW, Audi, Mercedes, etc. So first in the commercial, what they do is they introduce you to the German brand. Then they talk about the disadvantages of the German luxury brands available and how is Lexus better than the German brands. They use a weighing scale to create an impression in the minds of consumers about their product, that is Lexus.